Welcome once again to Whispers of Turkish Stars, the arena where glitter meets grit and every whisper is examined until its true heartbeat is revealed. Today, the floor is trembling beneath the Turkish entertainment world. If you believe the turbulence had quieted, brace yourselves, because the storm everyone sensed coming has finally broken. Headlines are flaming, timelines are buzzing, and the eye of this tempest circles around a love story that fans have never truly let go of. Erkan Meriç, his marriage, and, like a ghost that refuses to fade, Hazal Subaşı. Is this the curtain call on a union, or the opening act of a legend reborn? How much influence did Erkan's family wield in what now looks like an inevitable outcome? And listen closely, is he really on his way back to Turkey to settle the past and redraw the future? Here on Whispers of Turkish Stars, we're lifting the veil on the most talked about unfollow of the year. Before we plunge into this living telenovela of longing, silence, and decisions, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so every update reaches you the second it drops, and if our meticulous sleuthing keeps you hooked, consider joining our community to support what we do. Your encouragement keeps this storytelling engine alive. Now, sit down, breathe deeply, because the script of Erkan's life has been rewritten in real time. In this age, the end of a chapter rarely arrives with a press conference or a tearful sit-down. Sometimes, it appears as a quiet tap, a gesture that rings louder than any declaration. The shockwave went off when hawk-eyed followers spotted the unthinkable. Erkan Meriç had unfollowed his wife on social media. Many would call it trivial. In celebrity code, it's a public bell tolling for a private love. An unfollow can be a final verdict. But the blast wasn't just what happened, it was the timing. The disconnect came just as Hazal Subaşı's name resurfaced across gossip columns, linked to chatter about new connections and fresh starts. Coincidence? At Whispers of Turkish Stars, we don't use that word lightly. Insiders say Erkan, watching the Turkish media from afar, caught wind of the renewed speculation around Hazal. Something in him bristled. He reportedly confided to friends, "I hate that her life keeps being dragged back to me." Read that line carefully. If he had moved on completely, why did it sting? Was it protective irritation, a man guarding the dignity of someone who once mattered more than fame? Or was it the crackling jealousy of a heart jolted awake by the thought of losing the person who imprinted his youth? Erkan's digital cut wasn't just a marital tremor, it felt like a visceral reset, a clean sweep before something else. Meanwhile, those close to his wife described shock that felt like vertigo. Friends who've seen the marriage from the inside insist this wasn't a tantrum or a passing storm. One said, with a long sigh, that there'd been a steady drift that no photograph or caption could disguise. That word drift hangs heavy. For a while, observers sensed that the marriage, all smiles in stories and posts, lacked the rare spark that lights a room. Hazal's name back in lights didn't cause the break, it illuminated what had dimmed at home. The rumor mill was merely the spark. The kindling had been piled for months. To measure this separation, we need to rewind to the beginning. There's a not-so-secret tale that has swirled around sets and coffee tables. Erkan's family, gracious as they are, never fully warmed to his wife. In a culture where family is the skeleton and the skin, lukewarm blessings are winter in July. Contrast that with the way they embrace Hazal. The respect is legend among those who know. Fans haven't forgotten how whispers from household corridors once went, "She's ours." That isn't small talk. It's a welcome mat with a ribbon. Hazal wasn't just a colleague, she was folded into family life, the person who brought warmth to Sunday tea. Imagine the pressure on Erkan, on one side, a wife who never quite slipped into the family's embrace, on the other, the memory of a woman everyone remembers with softness. Add family murmurs, a marriage growing quieter by the week, and the gossip cycle spinning Hazal's name, suddenly the equation solves itself. Erkan's abrupt move is, for many, more than a divorce in progress. It reads as preparation. It reads as a man turning back toward the place where he laughed loudest and where his mother's smile was widest. And here's where the plot enters film territory. The whispers reaching our desk are a chorus: Erkan Meriç is returning to Turkey, and soon. Not for a holiday, not to sip coffee on the Bosphorus and disappear. He's coming with intent. The talk is of two missions, fresh projects, yes, but also those chapters that never truly close. A veteran journalist, leaning in a corridor, caught a line that still gives us chills. Sometimes stories pause and wait. Who, exactly, is that about? You don't need binoculars to see the outline. Erkan and Hazal weren't just co-stars on a Deniz and Koi. Their rhythm, their gentle shorthand, became folklore. The looks that said more than lines. The scenes that felt like secret letters. Time went by. They took detours. The internet thought they were done. But perhaps those detours were scenic routes back to a familiar door. Is this fate? Is this careful choreography by circumstances we can't see? Erkan stepping back on Turkish soil would be symbolic, the return to where lightning first struck, and maybe, just maybe, to where it can strike again. Let's take a breath together. Do you believe in second chances when the first chance was bright and brutal? Did Erkan wake up too late, or did time need to pass so both could grow into the reunion? Tell us below if your team love finds its way or team what's broken stays broken. And if you're feeling the depth of this dive, show some love so we know you're right here with us. If the personal was not enough, the professional is pouring gasoline on the ember. Here's what's crackling. Both Hazal and Erkan are, we're told, in talks with the same production company, separate shows, same umbrella, same digital platform. Translation: same buildings, same corridors, same elevators. Picture the waiting rooms with nervous laughter, the accidental meetings at the coffee machine, the moment when eyes lift and everything else fades. Pundits are already betting money they'll cross paths mid-negotiation. Everyone knows proximity is the opening step to reconnection. It isn't destiny alone that nudges people together here, it's schedules, casting calls, and lunch breaks. Now to the two women's stances in this living triangle. On one side, the wife. Her silence since the unfollow was ringing like a bell you can't unhear. But sources insist it isn't surrender, more like a calculation. The murmur in her circle is that she's delivered a line that could cut through any narrative, it's over, and she will not explain. Not because there are no reasons, but because not all reasons are for public consumption. A sentence like that is lightning in a bottle. It hints at unsaid truths that could redraw the map. Will she bow out with poise or strike with an interview that shakes the ground? A single caption could frost Erkan's image. On the other side, there's Hazal. Watch her closely. She's mastered the grace of doing nothing loudly. Amid the tempest, she's posted about scripts, rehearsals, the quiet discipline of building a character. Her captions talk about renewal without naming anyone. Fans who know her cadence swear they see a clearer gaze, a posture that feels like dawn. Is she closing a door for good, or laying out a clean table for a returning guest? The question won't stop humming, does the new chapter include the old love? Back to the axis of this story, family. Everyone knows the affection Erkan's family holds for Hazal has never really dimmed. With the marriage wall crumbling, people close to the home say there's a palpable flutter, a careful, hopeful restraint, like waiting for spring. Imagine that dinner table. Familiar dishes, too many desserts, laughter being relearned. A mother hearing that voice again in the hallway and pretending not to rush to the door. Years of polite distance might finally cash out into warmth. The press is in a crouch, ready to sprint. There's talk that after Erkan lands, a special statement might appear. It wouldn't just confirm the separation, everyone can read that room, but it could also hint at a door swinging open elsewhere. Would Erkan dare step to a microphone and say, carefully, that he and Hazal are trying, talking, or simply meeting for coffee with no promises? Or will the announcement hide the heart under a blanket labeled professional collaboration while eyes give away the truth? There's a feeling in the air that refuses to disperse. This isn't over. Nobody is acting like this is over. Love visits in rhythms, it asks for timing, patience, and equal parts courage and silence. Sometimes people part to learn what they need to bring back. Sometimes they try with others just to understand what they can't replace. Maybe years ago, Erkan and Hazal told each other with a look, not now. Maybe now has finally arrived. Make no mistake, the news of Erkan's unfollow isn't an ending so much as it is a prologue. The most riveting arc in their real lives may be starting now. If a reconciliation happens, it will dominate the conversation from Istanbul to the last fan account. No one can promise that the second attempt will hold. But here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, we can promise this: the story never died. It was waiting, a paused scene, I held breath. And someone just pressed unpause. We'll be watching the arrivals hall at the airport, the studio lots, the ink on contracts, and every breadcrumb on social media. Will you welcome them back as a pair? Do you think the wife will break her silence and swing the narrative in a startling direction? The comments are open and boiling. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with every Adini Sinkoi devotee who still believes in that singular spark, and join the channel to keep this investigative heartbeat strong. Thank you for staying with us, for caring, for reading between the lines. Stay tuned, stay inquisitive, and above all, Whispers of Turkish Stars will keep whispering until the truth speaks out loud.